Oxiracetam has been shown to improve short and long-term memory, boost concentration and focus, improve cognition, and increase cognitive energy. It's water-soluble ampakine nootropic in the racetam class of compounds. Oxiracetam is considerably more potent than the original racetam piracetam. Oxiracetam was the third racetam nootropic developed in the 1970s. It's chemically derived from piracetam, where the main difference is the addition of a hydroxyl group. Oxiracetam, similar to other racetam compounds, has a pyrrolidone nucleus at its core. Oxiracetam modulates the AMPA-sensitive glutamate receptors, and it increases neurotransmitter release. A favorite racetam among the nootropics community, neurohackers use oxiracetam to boost memory and learning, support brain health, and for its mild stimulant properties. Oxiracetam significantly improves cognition and memory, sensory perception and reflexes. Focus and concentration gets a boost, and recall is easier. Oxiracetam enhances choline acetyltransferase in your brain. The choline acetyltransferase is the enzyme that's responsible for acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter critical for encoding new memories, reasoning, concentration, cognition, and neuroplasticity. Oxiracetam modulates the AMPA receptors in your brain. Ampakines provide a stimulant effect by influencing glutamate receptors, but without any of the side effects that are associated with stimulants. Oxiracetam also seems to boost ATP synthesis in the brain cells. The racetam class of nootropics have a pyrrolidone nucleus at their core, but oxiracetam also has a hydroxyl group. And oxiracetam is a cholinergic compound, meaning it affects acetylcholine levels in your brain. Oxiracetam is sold as an over-the-counter supplement and unrestricted in many parts of the world, including the United States. One of the older synthetic nootropic compounds, it's known as a cognitive enhancer and for its stimulatory effect. Oxiracetam is considered to be more potent than piracetam. As an ampakine nootropic, it helps to increase attention span, alertness, and boost memory, including the ability to form long-term memories, even if taken after the initial memory formation. Oxiracetam and piracetam are both water-soluble. The half-life and nootropic benefits are similar. The potency of oxiracetam seems to be about 5 times that of piracetam, so it takes less of a dose to get the same nootropic effect. Both oxiracetam and piracetam are cognitive enhancers, and both have neuroprotective qualities. Both racetams are able to improve learning and memory, and both are able to repair brain damage. Oxiracetam has additional benefits not shared with piracetam. It provides more of a stimulatory effect than piracetam. Some even compare it to modafinil. Many prefer oxiracetam over piracetam, but if you're a first-time user of oxiracetam, start with a lower dose and see how you react to it. Make sure you stack it with a good choline source to avoid the racetam headache and irritability that's sometimes associated with racetams from a choline deficiency. Oxiracetam boosts memory and cognition. It modulates the AMPA receptor in the brain. These receptors work like control channels, overseeing and regulating synaptic transmission. Oxiracetam also increases the density of binding sites for neurotransmitters on AMPA receptors. The result of these actions is a stimulant effect without any of the negative side effects associated with stimulants, and there's clinical evidence that this stimulant action has an effect on memory and cognition. One double-blind, placebo-controlled trial was done on 65 patients who were diagnosed with primary degenerative dementia. Patients were given 800 milligrams of oxiracetam twice a day for 12 weeks, or a placebo. The subjects were tested before the trial and after 6 and 12 weeks of treatment. The researchers found a significant difference in favor of oxiracetam based on the quality of life scale and several neurological tests for memory. Oxiracetam also seems to prevent an imbalance of acetylcholine activity when the NMDA receptor is malfunctioning. AMPA and NMDA receptors work together for the flow of glutamate, which is necessary for learning and memory, including long-term potentiation that's associated with neuroplasticity that allows long-term memories to form. Oxiracetam boosts the availability of the acetylcholine in the brain, leading to improved short-term and long-term memory, and eliminating brain fog also. Oxiracetam does this by boosting the sensitivity of the acetylcholine receptors. Oxiracetam enhances protein kinase C, which affects M1 acetylcholine receptors. Oxiracetam even demonstrates the ability to repair these receptors when they're damaged. More acetylcholine results in better learning and memory. Glutamate is an excitatory relative of GABA. When GABA has a calming effect, glutamate stimulates. Glutamate is the most common neurotransmitter in your central nervous system. Glutamate is a pivotal neurotransmitter in the brain. It links the brain circuit that's involved in memory, learning, and perception. Too little glutamate can cause problems with memory, learning, and perception. AMPA and NMDA receptors wear out or die. Acetylcholine levels decline. Cholinergic neurons wear or die out. All these changes can happen at any age, and they're a product of the food we eat, what we drink, the lifestyle habits, and the air we breathe. So oxiracetam can help for age-related cognitive decline, as well as a student looking to do better in school, by boosting acetylcholine and controlling the glutamate in the brain. Oxiracetam improves focus. Clinical studies have looked at using oxiracetam to treat Alzheimer's, ADHD, dementia, concussions, and other brain disorders. Many of these trials demonstrated that oxiracetam has the ability to improve learning, spatial learning performance, memory, recall, and quality of life scores. Oxiracetam works similar to other racetams by targeting the neurotransmitter acetylcholine and glutamate. The acetylcholine has a significant impact on memory formation and recall, and glutamate plays a role in memory formation, motivation, and attention. Oxiracetam encourages the use of acetylcholine in your brain, so when using oxiracetam, you must ensure you have adequate choline levels available to make acetylcholine. Most neurohackers stack oxiracetam with a choline supplement like alpha-GPC or CDP-choline. Oxiracetam is used to boost short and long-term memory, eliminate brain fog, improve attention and focus, and the ability to learn. Nootropic users report that oxiracetam clears brain fog, improves focus and motivation, especially when learning new material or working through a tedious task. You should see a significant improvement in recall. Reading may be easier, giving you the ability to get through more pages faster and to retain the information later. Some report an improvement in mood, which could be the result of more acetylcholine available for use in the brain. Oxiracetam does have a stimulant effect, so try not to take it too late in the day, as it may interfere with a good night's sleep. You should be able to experience the effects of oxiracetam soon after you take it. It's water-soluble, so it's digested and it enters your cells quickly, and unlike other stimulants, there's no crash once the oxiracetam leaves your system. Researchers worked with 96 patients who were diagnosed with dementia for 12 months. Patients were treated with 1,600 milligrams per day of oxiracetam or placebo, and they were assessed at 2, 6, and 12 months of the trial. The patients treated with the oxiracetam showed a significant improvement in reaction time and cognition. The placebo group experienced a worsening of conditions. The study authors concluded that oxiracetam favorably acts on the symptoms of dementia, and it can improve information processing, reaction times, and attention. Traumatic brain injury is a major public health issue affecting 1.7 million Americans each year. It can be caused by sports injuries, work accidents, car and motorcycle accidents, and falls. Many survivors end up with long-term or even permanent neurocognitive dysfunction, affecting cognition, motor function, movement, and personality. These disabilities are estimated to cost 9.2 billion in lifetime medical costs and around 51 billion in productivity losses. In a brain subjected to traumatic brain injury, there's a glutamate toxicity, free radical injury to brain cells, electrolyte imbalances, mitochondrial dysfunction, inflammation, apoptosis or cell death, and stroke. In one study done with 30 Winster rats, researchers looked at the role that oxiracetam could have on the traumatic brain injury. The animals were randomly divided into 3 groups. Rats in the treatment group were given 100 milligrams per kg of oxiracetam for 21 days. Neurologic impairment score was measured on days 1, 4, 7, 14, and 21. The researchers found that the treatment group had significantly less brain impairment after 7, 14, and 21 days, and they concluded that oxiracetam shows promise in decreasing neural injury that's caused by traumatic brain injuries, increasing learning ability, memory, and spatial cognition. Researchers worked with 43 patients to evaluate the effects of oxiracetam on organic brain syndrome. Organic brain syndrome is a brain dysfunction that's not attributable to a specific disease like Alzheimer's or dementia. A double-blind, placebo-controlled study had one group of patients taking 800 milligrams of oxiracetam twice a day for 8 weeks, and the other group took a placebo. In the organic brain syndrome patients with a mild to moderate cognitive impairment, the oxiracetam improved cognition, logic, and attention. The placebo group experienced no change in the cognitive impairment. Another study with memory-impaired rats showed that oxiracetam restored acetylcholine receptors, restoring learning and memory as a result. Recommended oxiracetam dosage is 750 to 1,500 milligrams per day, divided into 2 equal doses, 1 oxiracetam dose in the morning and 1 in the early afternoon. Since oxiracetam boosts the efficacy of acetylcholine in your brain, you could stack it with a good choline source like alpha-glycerylphosphocholine or CDP choline. Oxiracetam is non-toxic, so it's considered well tolerated and safe. Side effects are rare, but they could include anxiety, fatigue, headaches, nervousness, and nausea. Side effects are often just a result of an unusually high dose. Headaches from using oxiracetam typically only happen when you forget to combine it with a good choline supplement. Headaches are often just a symptom of choline deficiency in your brain. Oxiracetam is especially helpful for those suffering from lack of energy, brain fog, and the inability to focus. Oxiracetam influences the AMPA and the NMDA receptors in your brain, improving the efficiency of the neurotransmitter glutamate. This excitatory brain chemical is responsible for sending signals between neurons in the brain, and it plays a critical role in learning and forming memories. Oxiracetam is also particularly useful to students and executives who want to boost cognition, improve learning and memory. It boosts the efficiency of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine in your brain. Acetylcholine is critical for encoding new memories, for reasoning, for concentration, cognition, and the growth of new synapses, also known as neuroplasticity. Also helps improve verbal fluidity and sociability. Words seem to come easier, and vocabulary you didn't know you had access to can come into play. You should stack oxiracetam with a good choline supplement like alpha-GPC or CDP choline. It helps to boost the neural acetylcholine, so it demands the presence of more choline to be present in the brain. You could safely take up to 2,800 milligrams per day of oxiracetam if needed.